Hey everyone, it's Chadwick Burks, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. As you know, the coronavirus is ravaging the world right now, and there are things that we can do and should do as Freemasons to step up during this time of crisis and combat this virus. So let's just dive right in, no frills, and get to it. There are three critical steps that we all must be aware of in order to combat this. First of all, you need to take care of yourself. Now, I know as Masons, we're not accustomed to that. We always want to help other people, but there's a reason you have to take care of yourself first. Because if you're not well or healthy or able, you'll be unable to assist others. Think about when you're on an airplane and they always tell you in the safety instructions to secure the oxygen mask of a child first. It's the same idea, because if you're passed out from lack of oxygen, you're not going to be able to help a child. So the first series we're going to cover is how you take care of yourself. After you take care of yourself, then we're going to take care of our other brothers. So we're moving from beyond us having well-being and happiness and safety into making sure our brothers have well-being, happiness, and safety. And then from there, we can take care of the community as a whole. So all the brothers can join together and assist our community because we're healthy because we took care of ourselves and each other. Okay, got it? Makes sense? Perfect. So we're going to go over a few physical health items for taking care of yourself that's very important. And I know you've probably heard a lot about things you need to do with Corona to be healthy and safe. Some of these things you may not have heard before, but we're going to talk about the most important things right now. So here we go. The virus is very, very sensitive to soap and alcohol. And that is why you keep hearing again and again and again to wash your hands. Because even though it is a deadly, just nasty virus, it is very sensitive to those things. So yes, you want to wash your hands as much as possible for at least 20 seconds. And also, if you have fruits and veggies that you purchase from the store, there's kind of some conflicting information about this, but I've heard it from the head of the Cleveland Clinic, so I tend to believe it, that you can wash those fruits and veggies in a very, very mild soap solution and you shouldn't have any problem. So give them a good wash for 30 seconds or so in a mild soap and water solution, and then make sure you rinse them thoroughly, because you don't want to eat soap. If you eat a lot of soap, you're going to get an upset stomach. But if you rinse them thoroughly, you shouldn't have any problem with that. That's the same concept with hand sanitizer, alcohol. It is very susceptible to alcohol, so you want to use hand sanitizers as much as you can. You want to disinfect things that you're using a lot. Your countertops, your computers, computer keyboards, and your mouse. You don't really think about that, but you want to take disinfectant wipes and wipe those items down because they have a high frequency of touch, and they're also very easy to get contaminated because of all the cracks in your keyboard and whatnot. Doorknobs, again, something else you don't think of. Even if you've just come in from outside, you've probably brought something and touched that doorknob. You're inside, you washed your hands, you're good, but the doorknob could still have virus there. Same thing with your phones. Your phones are some of the dirtiest things that possibly exist. You can see my phone looks all wacky there because I've disinfected it so much. But you really want to wipe your cell phones down frequently. And of course, gas pumps, one of the, oh my Lord, can you tell you how bad those are? And shopping carts, okay? If you're going out, you've got to wipe those things down. And be sure to bring some disinfectant wipes with you, because a lot of the grocery stores are out of wipes when you go in there for shopping carts. Again, stock up. Hand sanitizer, sanitizing wipes, Lysol, which is the disinfectant spray that you could spray any surface with. You can use the generic ones, are much cheaper. If you can find them available at a Walmart or the dollar store or something, they all work the same. Those are fine. But use those disinfectant sprays. And you want to keep some in your purse, ladies. And for those of you that have a man bag or a satchel, as you can say, keep some of those there with you. And especially in your car. You have no idea how often you're going to get in and out of your car when you go places and touch things, and that hand sanitizer or those wipes will be a lifesaver for that. You hear a lot, don't touch your face, and that's very important. It seems one of the main ways the virus gets transmitted is through contact of you touching your face. and you don't realize how much you touch your face until you pay attention to it. People touch their face hundreds of times a day normally. So it helps so much to keep your hands washed and clean and don't touch your face. And you've also heard a lot about social distancing, and that's just using common sense. You don't want to get right up on someone if you're standing in line somewhere, if you're ordering food at a restaurant for takeout. You want to keep some good distance. They say 6 feet. I know 6 feet's not always possible, but you do want to keep some space, especially if you go out like exercising or something. Just keep a good amount of space between you, and that helps tremendously. Don't travel unless you have to, especially on something like commercial airlines or a train. Most states have issued stay-at-home orders. There's not really penalties for it. I know in some places there are, but as a whole, there's not. I think we still have 8 or 9 states at this point that have not issued a stay-at-home order. But do not travel unless it's absolutely mandatory or necessary. You really want to stay at home as much as possible. But you do want to exercise. Exercise is good for you mentally and physically. It's going to help boost your immune system as long as you don't overdo it. And also it helps you get endorphins to feel better. So do go outside and exercise, but keep that social distance. Go exercise by walking around your neighborhood and avoid people in the sidewalks and whatnot. Don't exercise by going and playing pickup basketball. That's really bad. And I see it every day, and I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? But do exercise. You're going to want to take multivitamins. If you have them, if you're accustomed to taking them, just your regular dose of multivitamin is generally fine. Vitamin C is super important. There are a lot of experts are recommending somewhere around 2,000 milligrams a day. That's not medical advice from me. That's just what's reported on television. Most people are akin to taking 250 to 500 milligrams. So if you can take the 2 milligrams and, the 2 grams, which would be 2,000 milligrams, without any adverse effect, then do so. That should give you a lot of immune system boost, which you could really use at this time. And something interesting about vitamin C, 95% of the vitamin C in the world is produced in China, and people don't realize that. Now, it's up to you if you want to get vitamin C from China right now or not. You may not have a choice because, as you know, things have been very slow coming out of China since that's where the virus pretty much originated from. So there is a brand of vitamin C that's called Quali-C, Quali-C, and that's manufactured in Scotland. So if you can find a Quali-C brand distinction of vitamin C, that actually goes back to the first laboratory that synthesized vitamin C back in 1938, and it was in Scotland, and they've produced it ever since. There's a really good brand of vitamin C that I use. It's called Doctor's Best, and it has Quali-C in it. So look for that. And then probiotics, also important. People don't realize that a huge portion of your immune system lives in your gut, and it's balanced out between harmful and helpful bacteria. So again, experts will tell you look for a good probiotic supplement that has the larger number of billions it has and the bigger number of strains that it has. That's what you're looking for. The more the better on those two fronts. Alcohol. Here's a good subject for Masons. We love to have a glass of wine with dinner or a cocktail when we're at a banquet for a grand session or whatnot. But if you abuse alcohol, it reduces your immune system's the effectiveness. So doctors are saying that 1 drink a day is okay. 2 is probably still okay, especially for a male, someone that's heavier or accustomed to drinking quite a bit. But anytime you're going to exceed 1 or 2 drinks per day, you're going to be doing some damage to your immune system. So you're best off, if you're going to have a glass of wine or a cocktail or whatnot, to do it with breaks in between. I'm going to have a glass of scotch tonight. I'm going to take tomorrow off and not drink anything but water or tea or what have you. And then the next day I can have a glass of wine or whatever. So just not a huge critical thing, but pay attention to that because it does decrease the immune system. Sleep is super important to this virus. You need to get a minimum of 7 hours of sleep per night. You always hear 8. 8 is ideal. That's the number that doctors really want, but if you get 7 hours of good sleep, then you really don't see a lot of negative effects. They start kicking in after 7. So shoot for 8, but you've got to at least get 7 hours. And finally, there's some things out there that I've studied a long time and paid a lot of attention and put a lot of research into that are called binaural beats, or you can call them isochronic tones or energetically programmed tones. And they are frequencies that, if you believe in the principle of forced resonance, can heal things, cure things, treat diseases, achieve different results. Again, this is not medical advice at all. These are things that are not FDA approved. But if you do research on Royal Raymond Rife and Rife frequencies, that's RIFE, and Rife frequency machines, you'll be very amazed and surprised as to what you can find out in regards to that. And there is a very well-known person that produces these tones for free on YouTube. The name is Sapien Medicine, or Sapien Med. It's on YouTube. And if you search that with coronavirus, he's produced some tones that limit the coronavirus, according to him, or disrupt it. You can listen, it's like 3 to 4 minutes long. Listen to that 2 or 3 times a day, according to him, and you are going to have some protection there. And it's free, okay? So, again, not medical advice. I'm telling you that I listen to it. I've researched that stuff for a long time, and I use it. I use it for many things. Those things exist for headaches, anything you can think of, pretty much. Go to YouTube. You want to search, as I said, for that one in particular. You can search under Sapien Medicine or Sapien Med, or binaural whatever, binaural liver detox, or Rife, R-I-F-E, Rife, hair regeneration, what have you. And you will find those things. So those could be very, very helpful. So take care of these things. We're taking care of you. Now that we've got you healthy and things are going, now we're going to move on to taking care of our brothers. You might want to take some notes on this, because I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan on how we're going to care for our brothers, while at the same time we're going to increase membership, create active members in our organizations. And this applies to if you're a chapter of Royal Arch Masons, if you're a Blue Lodge, if you are a group of Scottish Rite Masons, it doesn't matter. This is what you need to do to ensure that our brothers are safe, and at the same time you're giving them a benefit. We're going to gain huge benefit as our organization as a whole. Okay? The first thing you need to do is call every brother on your membership roster. And the reason I have call there in caps and underlined is because you need to pick up the phone and call them. Emails sometimes don't get delivered. They sometimes go to spam. They don't get read. They get delayed. They get accidentally deleted. Text messages, some people don't even have text service on their phone, and you don't know that. So we're going to call every brother on our membership roster. And how we're going to do this is we're going to split it up and assign it to different brothers. Okay, Joe, you're going to call these 5 brothers. Jim, you're going to call these 5 brothers. However you want to split it up is fine. But you're going to get that entire roster, and we're going to split it and call every brother on the roster. And secretaries and recorders out there, you're off the hook for this, because you have the information and you can provide the information, but it's not your job to call them all. It is the job of the organization to call. So that work needs to be split up. All right, we're going to make those phone calls. Number 1, the first thing we're going to talk to that brother about when we call him is we're going to ask him if he has everything that he needs. And by everything we need, we want to make sure he has vitamin C, toilet paper, paper towels, some sort of disinfectant thing like hand sanitizer or disinfectant wipes, water, rice, and medications. Now, you look at some of these things on the list and you're like, well, wait a minute. Like paper towels? Yes, paper towels are very important for multiple reasons. Most people, the instances of them washing their hands if they don't have paper towels drop dramatically. The occurrence of them cleaning their countertops, cleaning messes correctly, drop dramatically without paper towels. And toilet paper has been in very short supply for a month now around the country. A lot of people have bought up the paper towels to use in lieu of toilet paper, which don't do that, by the way, because you'll clog up your toilet and you're going to really cost yourself a lot of money. But again, when people panic and it's in a crisis, they do silly things. So we want to make sure that he's going to have some paper towels. You also see rice on there, and you go, rice, why rice? Rice is something that almost anyone can cook. It's quick, it's easy, it's inexpensive. And again, there's been studies on this in poor countries, places where they've had other pandemics, where there's been wars, famine, whatever. When someone doesn't feel like eating or want to eat, they will almost always eat rice. And when they're sick, rice is one of the few things that will not upset your stomach. So we not only want to have that for someone to eat in case they're not feeling well, but it's quick, it's easy, it's convenient, and it's something that's appetizing to almost everyone. And of course, medications. You've got to make sure not only do they have their medications they currently need, how much in advance do they have of a supply? Are they going to be out in a week? Are they going to be out in 3 days? You need to know that. So we're going to make sure that our brother has all of these things in item 1, and literally go through each one of these and ask him how he's doing on those. Number 2, we're going to make sure that he's okay with essential services. And by that I mean, are you up to date in paying on your gas, your electric, your water and sewer, and your trash? Are you behind on any of those? Do you have any kind of disconnect notices? What's the situation? And you're going to have to be very straightforward and possibly even a little forceful when you ask these questions. Some brothers might get offended. They might think, oh, really? You think I can't pay my electric bill? Well, guess what? We all have tough times, and some of us are out of work right now. Some of us are quarantined to their home and can't do our jobs. So if you approach it in the right way and just say, brother, of course I believe you can, but I want to make sure you're okay. And the only way I can do that is to ask all of these questions because I care about you. And no one's going to come at you if you take it from that attitude. You need to find out, does he need to leave the house for anything? Some of our brothers are scared to leave the house. Some of them have physical difficulty to leave the house because of their advanced age or medical condition, or they can't see very well to drive at night. So do you need to leave the house for anything? Is there something you need to pick up? Or is there a legal issue you need to take care of? Do you need to get groceries? Do you need, it could be a million things. That's what we're going to find out all in number 2. Number 3, you're going to ask him about his family. How's your family doing? Are they okay? Do they have what they need? When's the last time you talked to them? Just kind of get it. This doesn't have to be super, super in depth, but you want to find out how their family are doing because he may be holding out or may have a tremendous amount of guilt because he knows his family needs help and he can't help them, but we can. So you're going to find out about his family. Also about his pets. Ask him if he has any pets. And if he does, how is his pets doing? Pets are incredibly important to people, not only for their emotional and mental well-being, but companionship, because we are isolated to our homes at this time. So find out about his pets. Is your pet sick? Does he need any kind of supplies or any medication or any kind of food? How are you doing on cat food or dog food? Do you need someone to walk your dog every couple of days? So find out about the pets. Not only is that incredibly important to the brother, but it's going to convey a sense of caring that you can't even imagine to him. All right. Number 4, you're going to ask him just in general how he's feeling physically. So how are you doing? I mean, you feeling good? You feeling all right? This isn't a doctor's evaluation here. It's just a general thing because most people will, if he goes, well, yeah, I'm pretty much okay. Don't stop there. Dig down. But most people are going to tell you if they have some issues. And then say, well, how are you holding up upstairs? How are you doing mentally? I mean, and you don't have to ask him if he's going crazy or if he's depressed. You're smart enough to know what those signs of depression are. So if you ask him, how are you doing mentally, in a way that's just like, I mean, are you doing okay? I know it gets pretty lonely being at home all the time. I know you have a brother, Fred. Did you talk to your brother recently? I mean, how's he doing? Just get a feel for how their mental state is. We're basically looking for signs of depression there, because this is very important. At this time, people are feeling more and more alone, more and more isolated. And I know this is sad to say and horrible to say, but I promise you, you're going to see rates of suicide increase dramatically during this. And that's from being alone. And we want to make sure that our brothers are not alone. And if they feel alone, we have to show them that they're not, and we have to be companions to them. Even if it's a phone call, that can make all the difference in the world. And then you're going to tell them about the website masonscare.com. And we're going to come back to that later in the video, but I'm just putting it here so you see this list, because I literally want you to go down this list, boom, 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 when you're on the phone. Okay? So that's why I put that in there, but we're going to go into that in depth here in a little bit. Now, here's where we get to double dip on helping us grow membership and grow active membership. While you've got him on the phone, you know that his phone number is correct because you're talking to him. Ask him what his current mailing address is and what his current email address is. This is very, very important. A lot of the times we have members that we suspend or expel for non-payment of dues, and they don't get the dues notices. They don't live there anymore. It's been too long. The forwarding order has expired. Someone that used to handle it for them at their office doesn't do it anymore. There's tons and tons of reasons. But just make sure you have the right mailing address. That only takes a second. And email address. And it's very important. When you get that email address, you need to read it back to them and spell it back to them, because it's often hard to get the exact spelling right just hearing it on the phone. So you're going to read it back and you're going to spell it back to make sure you have the right mail and email. While you're at it, ask them, hey, do you do emails? How often do you check your email? Do you mind if I email you something? That way, we're going to take this information. We're going to be able to upgrade and update the secretary's records. And now our secretary is going to have a correct mailing address and a correct email address for every single member in our organization. And you can laugh when you go, oh, wow, we're going to finally get our members' addresses. Yeah, because we don't have them. And if you think we do, then you're kidding yourself. And if you think we have an email list of 100% of brothers with eligible emails, you're crazy. Now we will have that. We're doing good, and we're helping our organization at the same time. Number 6, you're going to give him your contact information. You're going to tell him to write it down, and then after you give him your name and phone number, you're going to ask him to repeat it back to you to make sure that he has it correctly. That's going to accomplish 2 things. Number 1, it's going to prove to you that he did write it down to begin with, which is very important. And number 2, that it's correct. He may be hard of hearing. There could be problems with the phone line, what have you. You have to make sure he has the correct information. And again, it's going to be your name and your phone number. You can give him your email if you wish, because he says he email communicates a lot. But that's what's important, because people will call. If everything else blows up and goes to nothing, people are still going to be able to call. And then you're going to tell him to call you if he needs anything. Anything at all. If you or your family need anything, you call me. If you have a question, you call me. I will take care of it for you. We care about you. Your chapter cares about you. Your lodge cares about you. Your commandery cares about you. Your priory cares about you. All of these things. We're going to take care of you. All you have to do is reach out and give me a call. And then finally, you're going to follow up with them in 10 days. Why 10 days? Well, because it's not too short of a time. You can't follow up every 2 or 3 days. People are going to get annoyed. But 10 days, if he starts to feel bad, or he's coming down with symptoms and he's being stubborn about it, or there is some financial problem, you still have time. If you look at the charts, Most people that pass away from this or have it severely, it's 18 days after they start showing serious, symptoms. Okay? So this 10-day window is going to help us take care of him physically, while at the same time, it's not going to make things super annoying on him and you. So that's a reasonable time frame. I know it seems like a lot, but it's really not. If you had a job to call 5 or even 10 brothers, you could knock this out in no time. It looks like a lot of information, but the conversation is casual. It flows into itself. But it is critical. We do this for every single brother. And you can't think, oh, I know, oh, Floyd, he's fine. He's got, shh. No, it's not like that, because, a lot of our brothers are very self-sufficient. Some of them are very proud, and they don't want to be a burden to anyone, and they're suffering in silence. They're leading a life of quiet desperation, as Henry David Thoreau said, and we cannot allow that. So we have to check on these guys. They've been through tough times before, and they can get through tough times again. No. We're going to help you. And the same goes true for their youngest members. Our youngest members think that they have to take care of everything by themselves. They have to prove themselves. They have to do it. They just got into Masons. Why are they going to ask for a handout? It's not what it's about. It's about taking care of each other. Okay? So we're going to accomplish this, and we're going to have every single one of our brothers accounted for and taken care of. And then when they're all healthy and safe and we have all their information, then we can move on to number 3. We can take care of the community. And since we've updated our rosters and we've talked to all these brothers and we know who's good, think about how your volunteer lists are going to be now. Way better than they were before. So here's some things that we're going to do to take care of the community. Now, you can do some of these things or all of these things. It depends how ambitious you are. I would say do them all and split it up. If you all can't do all of it all the time because you're busy and you got your own disasters going on, that's fine. But you could split it up. You could do some of it, certainly. Okay? So let's take a look at these. You want to call your nonprofit and government agencies and ask them how you can help. It's real simple. Now, a lot of them are going to tell you, no, we don't need anything. No, we're fine. But some of them, especially in your smaller communities, will gladly take you up on that offer. And I'm talking about the Red Cross, Salvation Army, your police department, your fire department. And speaking of your fire department, they do a lot more community outreach than a police department does. They are more of a fraternal type organization because a lot of times they live together, they eat together, things along that line. So your fire department is a really, really good resource to ask if they need help. And then the Humane Society is another great one. Everyone always forgets about the Humane Society, but they really need help badly because in this time, so many pets are being abandoned or turned loose. So many workers can't be there at the shelters because they're sick. And obviously the donations have decreased dramatically for the Humane Society. And I told you before how important pets are to all people. So please call your Humane Society and ask how your lodge or your group can help them. And be sure to stick to local organizations. So you don't call the Humane Society of America. You're going to call the Arizona Humane Society or the North Dakota Humane Society. Yeah. Okay. So your local organizations are who are going to help. The national organizations, you can't really do anything for them except give them money. And your local organizations need that more. Okay. This one I really like, and it's so easy to do. You may not realize it because you might have enough and you may be okay, but there are severe shortages of hand sanitizer, of disinfectant wipes, Lysol, toilet paper, paper towels, even rice, okay? I know I'm pushing the rice, but I'm just saying. There's severe shortages all over the world of this. It took me 3 weeks to get some toilet paper. Now, luckily, a little TMI there, right? Luckily, I already had toilet paper just by a fluke before this all hit. I had 3 or 4 packs of toilet paper. I was fine. But it was starting to get pretty low, and I was getting pretty worried. And I went to multiple stores, didn't have them. It took me a good 3 weeks to finally get some. And I had to stand in line for an hour and get limit one per household. And that's happening to a lot of people. A lot of our brothers that don't want to leave the house, can't leave the house, are elderly in age. They can't stand in line for an hour. They can't do that. And they may be suffering on that. And now, since this is for the whole community, if that's just our brothers, think about how it is for the world, all the non-Masons out there, okay? So what we do is, if you have an outlet or resource to where you can buy these things, hand sanitizer, wipes, Lysol, toilet paper, paper towels, rice, they're very inexpensive, okay? Then buy some, and we're going to give them away to the community. Even if you don't buy them, get everybody to pitch in. Jim, do you have an extra pack of toilet paper? Great. You got an extra thing of a hand sanitizer bill? Awesome. You know, get a collection of them. And then you're going to go to a public spot and give them to people who need them. And you're going to have them, they can come to you, or you can go to them. If they come to you, what I would suggest is you find a restaurant that is doing takeout. And if you can find a takeout restaurant in a busy area that's in like the same parking lot as a supermarket, that's your ideal spot. Because people will be coming out of the supermarket not being able to get these items. They couldn't get toilet paper, they couldn't get hand sanitizer, and they need it. You're also not going to have, most people aren't that big of a scumbag where they just left the store and they bought 10 rolls of toilet paper and they're going to take your free toilet paper. So I really like when you have a kind of a shopping complex and you have a grocery store here, and then you have, a restaurant and a, place to get your hair cut, yada, yada, yada. Almost all the states, the restaurants are still open. So you go to ask the restaurants permission, tell them what you're doing, that you just want to be in the parking lot and pass this out to people that need it. The restaurant's going to say, heck yeah, because now they're going to have foot traffic in front of their restaurant, and people might come in and take some carry out. Say you'll gladly give out coupons or what have you too while you're there. And you're going to just set up there at the table, have a sign that said, free to those in need, however you want to word it. Free toilet paper, free supplies, need help, whatever you want. And then when people are leaving that store and they're driving by or they're walking by, if they truly need something, then you can give that to them. And it's up to you if you want to, how you want to limit things. That's up to you. Depends on how much you have, how much you want to limit, how much you want to give away. But I would suggest that you want to be there for more than 5 minutes. So you might want to limit to the number of people, the number of items a family can have. And then I would also have a certain number per hour. Like I would have a plan to give away X number of things from 7 to 8. And then from 8 to 9, you restock X number of things. You want to keep those things out of sight and then restock it only when it's time. Keep it in the back of a car or something, because you don't want to make people feel bad or have a riot or anything along those lines. So this is what we're going to do, okay? If you want to go to somewhere, then I would suggest you can call nursing homes, Masonic homes, especially the ones that are government funded instead of private, and see what they need. Senior centers are in a big care, real need right now for these items too. So I really like the idea of doing it publicly, but you can also, as well, go and take it to those facilities. I would advise you to wear gloves and masks, even though gloves and masks for just handing someone a bottle of hand sanitizer or toilet paper is not really necessary and not important. It'll make the public feel safe, and we want them to feel safe. So have a mask on. If you don't have a mask, even a bandana tied around like you're going to rob a bank. Anything works. And if you have gloves, even food service gloves will help, okay? And you're going to have a flyer there that talks about masonscare.com, and you're going to give them that flyer too. And we're going to cover that in just a minute. Now, we do good things as Masons all the time, and we never get credit for it. And we shouldn't be tooting our horns to get credit. But people need to know that there's positive things going out there right now, and there's people who care about them. So this is not so much of, let's brag about the Masons. This is, let's show you that For every piece on the news you see of people beating the crap out of each other for a roll of paper towels, or people robbing a McDonald's for like 40 cheeseburgers because they're worried they're not going to have food and stuff, we're going to show them some good news. So I want you to alert the media about your public giveaways when you have them. So when you're going to give something away in the parking lot of a Rosati's or pizza place or whatever, then you're going to call the television stations and you're going to tell them that's what you're doing. And you don't have to go, hello, I'm from the Masons and da 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 da. No. You find the 3 local or 4 local big TV stations in your area. You get their phone number off the internet. You call the news desk. You just tell the news desk, hey, the Masons are giving away free yada, 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 whatever you're giving away in the Rosati's parking lot from 9 to noon. And you tell that to the TV stations. Some of them are going to show up and film you, and they're going to give you great publicity for your lodge, your organization, and for the fraternity as a whole. You're going to make people feel good that we care. The Masons have always through history stepped up and led in a time of crisis, and we're going to continue to do so. And that's what you can do. We need this good energy to go out there. And at the same time, you're going to drive positive vibes towards the fraternity, positive impression on people seeing, wow, the Masons, they're not out there worshiping Satan today. They're giving me some toilet paper, and I need it. And don't laugh at that because it's serious. It really is. That's what I do for TV stations and newspapers. You want to do that for TV stations and newspapers. For radio stations, you want to call them and just tell them about masonscare.com and what it is and what it does. That's what you want to do for radio stations. Radio stations, think about it. It's a visual medium. They're probably not going to show up to your giveaway with the microphone. After they see masonscares.com and they're interested and they talk about it, you can tell them that you also do the giveaways. But we're going to stick to the newspapers and the television stations for the public giveaways and the radio for masonscare.com. Now, you want to make some money for your chapter or your lodge or whatever? Here's something that you can make some quick, easy money on and is a service to the community and a service to your members. I made a whole video presentation on fundraising for Royal Archmasons, but that applies to anyone and can be used for anyone at any time on multiple fundraising options. And one of them was take and bake pizzas. And that is the simplest, easiest, highest profit margin, enjoyable thing there is. People are really missing being able to go out and get a nice pizza. Everyone likes pizza. It's safe, it's easy, everyone likes it, right? If you make a fundraiser to where you're selling take and bake pizzas ready to go, and you can even have a no contact pickup, then you'll make so much money for your organization and promote the fraternity as well. And you just go to a Sam's, a Safeway, a Costco, anywhere like that. You buy the dough balls. They've already ready to go dough balls. Flatten them out, sauce, cheese, pepperoni, wrap it in saran wrap, and you're ready to go. You charge anywhere between $8 and $10 a pizza, and you're still going to make a huge profit, and you're making things convenient for people. They don't have to worry about a meal that night. They're going to get something that tastes good. It's easy. It's fresh. You can go put it in the back of their car. So you take orders from people, and then here's the times and days you can pick it up. Something simple and easy like that. If you don't want to do pizza, some simple baked goods, cinnamon rolls, cakes, pies, fresh baked bread, something like that. It's a treat for people. It makes them feel better. You're going to make money. You're going to get word out about the fraternity, and you're going to cause people to not have to worry about that meal. And again, make sure when you advertise and stuff, no contact delivery. You can go and put it in the trunk of their car, hand it to them through their car. They don't even have to get out of their car. But that's another great one. Make sure you get the word out about that. It's not only a good fundraiser for all your Masonic family, the general public, very okay with that as well. Okay, so now masonscare.com. We've heard me talk about that multiple times, and now we're going to get down into what it actually is. It's a simple website which is full of useful information. Now that's pretty vague, right? But the whole point of masonscare.com is to provide accurate information about health, the coronavirus, right? It's going to provide information on how to be productive at home, how to do video and web conferences, how to make videos like this, uh, simple things of how you can get your job done at home with distractions, things like that. It has my favorite part, which is free entertainment. So it's compiled a huge list of concerts, opera, television shows, magazines, websites you can go to get free samples. They just mail them to your house, like no questions asked, of free products. Video games, yes, free video games. And I'm not a gamer, but I know a lot of our younger Masons are gamers. Like $100 video games that now, because of Corona, are free. Family projects, web series, like lots and lots of stuff for families are on masonscare.com. And the whole point of this is to help you transition to this being locked down at home and having to work from home for a huge majority of us, and being told don't leave your house. But also, it's so much for mental health, to help you relax. There's a section on there that I made of aquarium webcams, and it's from Monterey Bay Aquarium, and they have like 12 different live cams, and like a live cam of jellyfish, and it just streams 24 hours a day of live jellyfish swimming in a big aquarium. They have one of coral reef, all these different kinds of fish, different kind. I mean, it's beautiful. It is so relaxing. And they have one of shark cam, which I'm not really sure. I mean, that's not very relaxing to me. I mean, I guess, your younger kids like shark cam, cool. But it's fun, relaxing things that we're going to show the people. Come here. You can see it. You don't have to search all over the internet and try to find it. There's a really neat animal show on there from Australia. A guy kind of like the Crocodile Hunter, who does 5-minute show about animals. And he just keeps making new ones and new ones and new ones. And it's for children, and it's all free. There's meditation routines and home fitness. If you need to exercise, you don't want to go outside, fitness routines on it. It's all on masonscare.com. And this site's going to continue to be updated whenever we get relevant information. And I encourage you, if you know something cool that should go on there, email me and we'll add it. But the point of this is a service to make life at home much more bearable and productive for us that are working, and then more enjoyable and relaxing for us, and even for people that are retired or bored or just want to be entertained more, or have ADD like I do. Like, then, let me see a link of like 50 different things because one's not enough. That's what masonscare.com is all about. And why not? Since this is going out to the general public and to help the general public, there's also information in there about Masonic education for the public. What's it like to be a Mason? Are you curious to be a Mason? There's a video in there kind of describing Masonry, talking a lot about it. There's a contact form where people can get information. And there's also a link to the Be a Freemason website. So that's what masonscare.com is about. And I mentioned the flyer before. It's just something that I made, and it's customizable for you. I'm going to have this available, uploaded to a website via Google Docs, where you can get it whenever you want. And it's made where you can do 2 up on a sheet. You can print 4 if you want, however you want to do it. It's something that when you give out your free products to people that need them, your toilet paper, your hand sanitizers, you give them this too, because you want them to go to the website. You want them to go there and see all the great information we made for them. You want them to be happy, and that's the point of this. So again, you can either print these out as is and write your name on there and phone number. You can modify them to put your lodge's info, your chapter's info on there, whatever you want. But you can download this at yorkrightdocuments.org. There's going to be links on there, yorkrightdocuments.org. We'll have links to this and then whatever future things come out. in regards to this. Okay, now I'm going to show you, we're going to watch a quick video. So for those of you who like meta stuff, we're having a video within a video right now. And this video is less than 5 minutes long, so don't fret, but it's very important to what's going on right now. So let's take a quick watch of this.
One of the most powerful concepts I've ever come across is the idea of alive time versus dead time. Robert Greene told me about it a number of years ago, and I have thought about it almost every day since. He said to me, Ryan, there are two types of time in this life. There is alive time and dead time. One is when you sit around. One is when you wait until things happen to you. One is where you're wasteful, you're passive, you're accepting. The other is when you are in control, when you make every second count, when you are learning and improving and growing. I feel like life is constantly asking us, is this going to be alive time for me or dead time? A long commute? Are we going to zone out and listen? A delayed flight? Are we going to get in a couple miles walking around the terminal or shove a Cinnabon in our face? A forced quarantine due to the worldwide pandemic that is COVID-19. Are we going to watch Netflix, or are we going to seize this moment? Are we going to use every second we have? That is our call. We don't control that this happened, but we do control how we respond to it. Think of the story of Malcolm Little. In 1946, he was arrested for trying to fence an expensive watch he'd stolen. In his apartment, the police found jewelry and furs, an arsenal of guns, and his burglary tools. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison. And yes, he could have served that time simply counting the days. He could have planned his next crime spree. Instead, he started reading. He literally copied the dictionary word for word. Every minute he wasn't in his bunk, he was in the library. That was how Malcolm Little was transformed into Malcolm X. Do you know why Malcolm X wears glasses? Because he actually wore his eyes out in prison. But clearly the trade-off was worth it. Those years he served were some of the most productive of his life. He breathed in every second while his fellow prisoners rotted away. Yes, he had plenty to be angry about. Yes, his sentence wasn't totally fair. Yes, America was horribly segregated and racist, and instead of focusing on all of the injustices in the situation, he owned where he'd made mistakes, and he decided he would dedicate himself to improving, to being made better for what had happened. So many people are busy thinking about the future that they miss the opportunities right in front of them. Or so many people are upset about what has happened in the past that they ignore the present that has been given to them. We think that the future is something that happens rather than something we make. We think this is just a job. This is a crappy couple of months or minutes or weeks. It doesn't matter. I can kill this time and it will be over soon enough. We tell ourselves that we're doing this to pay for school or because we have to, that no good can come out of it, that we'd be better off doing something else. But as Robert Greene says, if you're going to think like that, you might as well be dead. You've already decided to turn off your mind. We have to choose to make every moment a moment of a lifetime. We have to decide to be present, to make the most of whatever is in front of us. Might it be better if we were totally free, if we weren't stuck inside, if the economy wasn't crashing, if our work hadn't furloughed us, if our kids were in school? Of course, but we aren't. So what are we going to do about it? We have to find some advantage. That's the idea. It's not that every situation is good. It's that there is no situation so bad, there is no time so worthless that we can't make something of it. That's what a Stoic thinks about. That's how we become great. We say, as Jocko Willink says, we say yes to this moment. We seize it. We make the most of it, whatever it happens to be. And actually, that's one of the reasons we've created this Daily Stoic Alive Time Challenge. It's a 14-day challenge designed to give you resilience, productivity, and service in the time of coronavirus. It's the best Stoic wisdom, tools, and motivation you need to transform yourself over the next 14 days and arm yourself with skills and an attitude that will help you turn this negative quarantine into a positive experience. To give you an outline on how to create the most alive time you can in our personal situation, and you can check that out at dailystoic.com/alivetime. There is plenty you can do to make this productive, purposeful time, even if the situation is not completely in your control. As they say, this moment is not your life, but it is a moment in your life. How will you use it?
Okay, so you really need something to do, right? That was a cool video, wasn't it? You really need something to do. And the young man who made that video and who's narrating it is named Ryan Holiday. And that video came off of YouTube. So I have no rights to that video. I don't own that video. You know, that video is 100% Ryan Holiday's property. And there's the source of where it came from. So the wannabe lawyer part of me has made this disclaimer, but I'm okay to use it because I'm using it for nonprofit reasons, and I'm using it to promote him and promote his website in a, educational, satirical, critical aspect. So I'm safe under fair use, according to that. But wasn't that neat? Wasn't that interesting? He mentioned a course on there that he offers, and I looked into that course, and that course, you can get it if you're interested. It's at dailystoic.com/alivetime, and the course is $25. So if you're looking for something to do to entertain you for a while, it's a pretty thorough course. It's actually great. It's great. And I don't make anything by telling you about it. I have no skin in this game at all. I just stumbled across this because I really like Ryan Holiday as a writer. I've followed him, his blogs and whatnot for a while. And this in particular is something that us being Masons and philosophers and esoteric types, this might be something you'd be really interested in. And like I said, last time I checked, it was like $25. And it's funny because it's all about Stoicism and Stoic philosophy. And when I was researching this and looking at that website, he talks about the 4 virtues of Stoic philosophy that go back through the ancients. And those virtues are courage, justice, temperance, and wisdom. So that sounds kind of familiar, huh? It's kind of like some other organization I know that has some things along those lines. So check that out if it's something you're interested in. But even if you're not, just like it said in that video, what are you going to do for your alive time? Well, here's another alive time thing you can do. If you are a Royal Arch Mason, or even if you're just interested in Royal Arch Masonry and Masonic symbolism, the General Grand Chapter has a capitular development course that's available. And you can do this completely online if you want. It's akin to the Scottish Rite Master Craftsman, except you don't have someone over you cracking a whip and making you write essays and then grading them and mailing everything back and forth. It's not like that. This capitular development course is available on lulu.com, but I'll give you a link here in a second that goes directly to it. And there's several different versions on there. But it's great about the York Rite and all the symbols and history and whatnot that goes with it. When you do take a look at it, there's 4 or 5 different versions. You want the one that says GGC edition, and that stands for General Grand Chapter. Otherwise, you're going to get one that's specific to New York, or you're going to get one that has specific versions for Oklahoma. You want GGC, General Grand Chapter edition. It's going to shock you for those of you who did the Master Craftsman and paid for it and paid for the books and whatnot, but this course is $11.75 for an ebook that you would have access to instantly, immediately. Or if you want the actual paperback, they will print it for you, and it's $18.75 for the paperback. When I give you the link, it will take you directly to those courses, but as I said, they're sold through a publisher called Lulu. And once you get to Lulu's site, you can fill out a little subscription for their emails, like add to their email list, and they email rarely, but every time that I've seen it done, the first email they send you is with a discount code. So if you plan on buying this and you want to save a couple bucks, you might want to go ahead and do the subscribe to their email, and then when you get that discount code, you can go ahead and buy the course. It's available at www.royalarchcourse.org. royalarchcourse.org. That will take you directly to your options, and you can go for the General Grand Chapter Edition, take your choice between paperback or ebook. After you put in your email address, get your discount code, and then the $2 whatever you save, just go ahead and mail it to me, and I'll do something nefarious with it, I'm sure. Well, what are some other alive time things that we can do? Well, we can meet virtually as a lodge or as a chapter or as a committee. You've probably heard a lot right now about Zoom. Zoom is all over the news because it's a free video conferencing platform. And it's really neat. A lot of performers and artists are using Zoom to do little free concerts or even paid concerts. So we can meet virtually doing that. You need to have a chapter meeting. It's probably not sanctioned, it's not official, but you can still have the members of your chapter get together and talk York Rite Masonry. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still have a committee of, you have something coming up in a session in July or August, you need to get that work done. Do it online. Do it online. Totally available. You can just meet as friends and brothers. There's something really neat they're doing in England right now. There's an old tradition in British Masonry that every night at 9 p.m. they raise a glass to toast a brother that's not there, an absent brother. To all absent brethren, whithersoever disposed, right? It's gone on. It's a neat thing. It's gone on for a long time. There's kind of a trend right now where brothers are all getting together at 9 o'clock and raising a glass. And that's really neat. They're doing that all over England, and I would say let's do it all over the world. But you can just get on there and talk to your friends, talk to your brothers. That's a great alive time thing to do that lifts your spirits, lifts their spirits. You go to masonscare.com. There's tons of resources there to help you do that. It gives you all the different video conferencing platforms you can use, the free ones, explains how to do it. There's whole lists of how to be more productive at home and office, all of those things. So that's the website you want to go to for not only your entertainment, but to do these fun and productive things also. If you go to yorkritevideos.org, that's a site, it's a YouTube channel that I host. And right now there's video on there about the General Grand Chapter, history of the General Grand Chapter. This video is there now, obviously. And about every 2 weeks or so, I'm going to be adding more Masonic education videos. I already have a pile of scripts that I've written for this and stuff. It's just the recording and the editing takes forever and a day. But now, I have a little more free time on my hands since I don't have to commute to the office anymore. So, every 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to have more videos up there. So if you go to that channel and you subscribe, then you don't have to keep checking back in. It will notify you when there's a new video. But share this with your brothers. We can't meet in lodge, but we can still have Masonic education. And this Masonic education is on YouTube, and it's on demand. So you can have a watch party and all get together and do it, or you can watch it when you want to and when you're available to watch it or when you desire to watch it. So take advantage of those videos. I'm making them. The next one that's going to be up has to do with the Scottish Rite and the York Rite both. So if you're a Scottish Rite Mason or want to share York Rite information with Scottish Rite Masons, that's a really, really great resource. That video will be up within 2 weeks. And then again, you can email me. That's my personal email address, chadwickburks@gmail.com. It goes straight into my, go ahead and make fun of me, straight into my BlackBerry. But hey, with BlackBerry, I get my email real quick, so that's good. And I can add you to the mailing list that talks about Masonic education videos and whatnot. Or you can email me at that and give me suggestions for masonscare.com. What links and leads to things we should put on there, because we want to keep that fluid and going with awesome things, not only for the public, but for our brothers. And most importantly, through all of this, most importantly of all, keep calm and carry on. The old discovered treasure from the war days in England. And as they say, this too shall pass, and of course it will. And we as Masons have always stepped up at the most trying and important times in history to make a difference. And we're going to do that now. We're going to continue to do it. And I'm asking you to do it and to help do that. And how you're going to do it is by keeping calm and carry on. And you got to make sure other people keep calm and they carry on. That's your obligation as a Mason. So then I have to ask yourself, you've heard this whole sales pitch I gave you, this whole plan on what we need to do as a fraternity. So now I just have to be blunt. I have to ask you, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do? According to research at the University of Scranton, and I'm not talking Dunder Mifflin here, because I know someone, probably Eric in New Mexico, that's the first thing he said, Dunder Mifflin. So I hope you're watching this, Eric, because you just got a shout out around the entire world. But that's the first thing that popped into my head. But according to research done at the University of Scranton, 92% of people do not achieve their goals. It's a pretty uplifting statistic there, isn't it? 92% of people do not achieve their goals. And you know why? Because they don't take action. They don't take action. They hear something and they go, that's a great idea. We should do that. There's a difference between we should do that and doing it. Doing it. So I like to focus on the next statistic, which reads, according to Locke and Latham, they're both psychological researchers, and they wrote in the Psychological Bulletin that by setting a specific and challenging goal, you increase your success rate by 90%. So instead of the 92% not failing, I'm going to write a challenging goal and I'm going to make it specific. And now I just bumped my success up by 90%. So that's what we need to do here. Okay. We're not going to be scared because it says a challenging goal. We're not going to get scared, but we're going to make something that's a challenge. You're not going to say, I'm going to call one brother sometime this week. No, you're going to call 5 brothers today. That's a very specific goal, and it's a challenging goal. And an example that they gave in the research was someone that goes, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in the next 4 months. Now, that's not challenging. It's not specific enough. You say, I'm going to lose 8 pounds this month by cutting out sugar and eating only protein and not eating after 6 p.m. That is how you succeed, being that specific. So we are going to not be scared. We're going to set a challenging goal, and we're going to be specific on how we're going to achieve it. We're going to go help the public and help our brethren, and then we're going to succeed. So, if we do this, or using neuro-linguistic programming, I should say, when we do this, brethren, when we do this, we're going to make a difference for ourselves by making ourselves healthier and happier. You're going to make a difference for a brother who hasn't been to lodge or chapter in years, and you don't know why. And maybe he doesn't know why. But now he knows that you care, and guess what? He's back. You're going to make a difference for your poor secretary and recorder who labors in the quarries with very little or no love by helping get accurate information to him. And you're going to make a difference to the world. We're going to show the world what Masonry is and what Masonry can do because we care about those people. We care about them. And so, brethren, I challenge you to do that. I want you to think about what we're going to have after this crisis is over. It's going to pass. It's going to pass sooner than you think. But we have to take action now. And if we take action now, once this crisis is over, not only are you going to have a happy and thrilled secretary recorder, which is pretty rare. I'm waiting for the emails to come in on that one. And they're going to be bad because the secretary recorders are good writers, so they're going to shred me up. But we're going to have those records. We're going to have more attendance in our meetings than we've ever had before. We're going to see faces that we haven't seen in a long time. And those faces and those brothers are going to bring us valuable information, valuable input that's only going to make us stronger. We're going to see things out of ourselves we didn't thought were possible or we haven't done in a long time, acts of kindness and charity that we forgot about. And the world is going to see Masonry for what it's always been, a stable pillar of society that is there when it's needed and cares and loves for other people. That's what we're going to have after this is over if you step up. and I know you can. So, brothers, I'm going to show you one more quick video, and then we'll be finished. This video is only like 3 minutes long, but I think it is very, very important, and it's a great way to go out, and it reminds us of some things, and it reminds us of what we should be doing now and what we're going to get from doing that. So, take a look.
เขาจะได้อะไรถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวันเขาจะไม่ได้อะไรเลยไม่ได้รวยขึ้นไม่ได้ออกทีวีไม่มีใครรู้จักไม่ได้มีชื่อเสียงที่มากขึ้นเพราะสิ่งที่เขาได้คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
ไทยประกันชีวิตเชื่อในความดี
Yeah, I don't really need to say anything after that. I cry very rarely in my life. It's not like me to cry. Of course, I feel a lot of emotions, but I'm just not a crier. That one got me, and I'm sure it got you too. But look how powerful that is, and that's who we are, and that's who we should be. So, all right, brethren. So now, don't forget. The links for all the free resources for the productivity, the relaxation, health, the fun, all that stuff, they're available for you and the public at masonscare.com. masonscare.com. You can download the flyer and the image that I talked about and customize it if you want. And that's from yorkrightdocuments.org. And that's not a public site. That's just for you to be able to download it easily. And when you ask me why it's not www.masonscare.org, because we're a nonprofit, it's because masonscare.org wasn't available. It's a miracle that I have masonscare.com. And your general person doesn't care that the domain name is a .com. They don't even realize it. And there's no law that says your domain name must be .org, whatever. But there's a certain someone out there that I know that's going to say, well, you should have a .org. So I'm just throwing it out right now saying, yeah, I realize that. We're rolling.com. And don't forget, the Masonic education videos are also available at yorkrightvideos.org, yorkritevideos.org. Well, I thank you so much for taking this time. Again, I know it's a little lengthy, but I think this is super important information. Again, there's my email. There's anything you need. You have any questions, you get in touch with me. I'm easy to get in touch with. That's my Facebook page. It's www.facebook.com/Burks for General Grand. That's where I try to put all my Masonic information out as much as I can. It will tell you a lot about everything you need to know. When I release new videos, kind of just neat photos from around wherever. I used to have a lot of traveling stuff on there, obviously not now, but like that page and you'll have a lot of updates. And of course, please like, forward, share, and comment on this video. Put some positive comments in there. Yeah, you might have to create a YouTube account, which will take you 1 minute. But if you already have a Google account, which I'm sure you do, or a Google email address, which I'm sure you do, then you can comment on YouTube videos. So log in and put a comment in there. Yeah, put a comment, something positive, or put a comment in there with a question or just a discussion with brothers. Even have a discussion, how we can help each other. And please forward this video, like this video, and share this video. I've tried to promote as much as possible, but as you know, only a fraction of all emails ever get opened. So you can help by sending this link to this video to everyone you know. Let's get this information out there, and let's change the world. Thank you again, brothers. God bless you. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to talk to you soon.